Andrew here, Rain on Beer. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. So, this is one of those videos that I meant to do 3 weeks ago, then 2 weeks ago, then last week, and the busyness of work and life just kind of got to me. So, it's late on Tuesday night, so at least I'm actually doing something. And, you know, there's a holiday coming up, so if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate something else during this time of year, Happy Holidays. So, been a few things going on. I went ahead and added the deionizing filter to my RO setup. Then I went and checked the pH. It was 10 something. Now, I'm not a water guru by any sense of the means, but I kind of thought the whole point of all this stuff was to get the water, deionizing, and reverse osmosis makes it devoid of minerals, which pretty much makes it a pH of 7, which is neutral water. So I kind of checked into things and ultimately thought, maybe I ought to replace this battery. And I did. Recalibrated it. It recalibrated much, much easier and with less just standing around waiting. And now I've got RO water that's, pH of 6.9 to 7.1, depending on how long I let it sit after it thinks it's done. So that's pretty good. I mean, 7. It rounds to 7. I'm not going to go beyond a tenth of a digit anyway, so we'll go with 7.0 since that's the average of 3 times I looked at it. In the meantime, I've been kind of drinking, this is my gingerbread porter. This did not come out as strong as I expected, but it still tastes pretty good. When I give it a little spin, it does get a nice tan head on it, which of course the camera's probably not going to reproduce damn near at all. Little bit of ginger, a bit of vanilla. Vanilla is actually probably a little prominent compared to the other spices. The spicing I used on this was based on the gingerbread cookies from a person who calls themselves Brave Tart. I've mentioned it before. The link to the recipe is in the notes. We actually made those gingerbread cookies. They pair well with this. They'd pair even better if you follow the recipe where it says unsalted butter and actually add the salt, or use salted butter and don't add the salt. You don't want to do both. Ours were just a tinge on the salty side, and next time we'll do them better. I did the same thing. She's the same person, Stella Parks, has got a recipe on the same website, and if you follow that link to the gingerbread cookies, you'll find it. If you just keep reading and keep clicking on links. One for sugar cookies that we also did. The kids decorated them. They loved them. It was awesome. The cookies tasted great. Little salty, but again, I've started, because we tend to buy salted butter, I've started just not adding salt to the recipes. And it's worked out well since then. It's holiday season, so we made chocolate chip cookies too. And don't forget, it's been like 3 or 4 weeks. So those I didn't add the salt in the recipe. I used salted butter. Came out perfect. So got 2 brews coming hopefully sometime. I mean, I'm actually supposed to be taking time off this week and next week, and it pretty much got fucked. I was actually up in Sandusky today, Sandusky, Ohio, which is 4 hours away from where I live because of field work for work. Yeah, I was supposed to be taking time off. And then I've got one project that's it's behind schedule, and the client needs the end product, so I've been working on that. In fact, it's 10:15 right now. I thought maybe I'd actually work on it because I have one thing to finish up, but we'll see if that actually happens after this. I did, after all, pour me half a pint of beer. But next thing that's coming is a doppelbock. I basically took my Bock recipe that won an award at the Botarians Bockfest competition and just kicked up the Pilsner and the Munich malt. Didn't really put any science to it. And I used a similar hop, so I got one of those hop boxes from Yakima Valley, which there's an unboxing after this. I'm going to tag it on the end here. And one of the people were saying, oh, they've used this for great lagers, so I'm going to try. I'm thinking about trying it. I may go and decide, nah, Hallertau or Tettnang, but we'll see. I'm also going to do a West Coast IPA. I haven't had a good one in a while, other than when we did the BrewTubers yeast experiment. There was some great ones there, but since then I think I've had one or two just West Coast IPAs, and I'm kind of itching to make one. So anyway, I did all that, and then I never actually tasted this beer, so we'll get back to this. So color, dark, tan head, light, you have fine bubbles, kind of lasts, not really that long, thin head, aroma vanilla, some of the porter characteristics. There's some chocolate in there, some darker malts, sort of darker caramely kind of, not roast. I didn't use any roast malt in this, and you can tell because there's like no roast to it. Taste, got a fair bit of the vanilla, some of the ginger. The ginger's really kind of subdued. The cinnamon's coming up a little bit. There's cinnamon and nutmeg. I'll link to the recipe or something on this, because, you know, like I said, it's after 10 o'clock at night. I've had a long day. But the spiciness, the spices are at an okay level. I think they could go up just a skosh. Maybe a little bit more cinnamon, and definitely a little bit more not nutmeg, ginger. You know, to kind of get that gingerbread kind of cookie flavor. I could probably also, if I really wanted to do something interesting, make this not a porter, make a gingerbread cookie ale, and use like Munich malts that have a lot of that nice toasted breadiness. But I don't know, I kind of like the porterness of it. It's definitely a great beer. It actually started with the, there's a peppermint porter recipe in last year's Zymurgy magazine, and I brewed that. I brewed it a year ago, just straight out of the magazine. It came out pretty well. I kept a few bottles. They still drink fine a year later. I should probably make sure that I don't try those out 2 years later. Besides the fact they're actually pretty good, I'm not 100% sure they'll taste as good. And this will probably actually get bottled up for next year too, because I'm probably not going to drink a whole lot of this in January when life continues to be busy, because not only do I have work, I'm going to have a big ass set of meetings that are all virtual and all throughout the month. So it'll seem easier because it'll be what normally is about 5 days, you know, compressed into like morning to night, everything. It'll go to 4 weeks, but that's also probably going to become about 4 times the amount of after-hours Zoom meetings, where I'm not going to want to drinking a Christmas type beer. But who knows, we'll see. The first one I may still be doing it. Anyway, on to the hot box. So I saw on Reddit that there was these hot boxes that people were getting from Yakima Valley Hops, and it's a subscription. So I thought, you know what, it's Christmas, I should buy myself something. I bought my wife stuff. What the heck? It just came. This is the first time I've done an unboxing thing, because honestly I think they're kind of dumb. But this has got some randomness in it. It's not like, oh, I've got the new iPhone. It's like, hey, here's something wild. So we have packing material. And we have hops. Nelson Sauvin, lovely hop. Actually, I have a fair bit of that. Adena. I've never heard of this hop. See if it doesn't actually say anything about it. I'll have to look them up. Let's see. Topaz. I've heard of that, but I don't believe I've ever had it. This is like an 8-pack of hops. It's kind of cool. Let's see. HBC 586. Experimental. I don't see experimentals often here, so it's nice to get those. Let's see. Strata. It's one I've heard of, but I've never actually had. I don't think. Maybe I've had a beer with it in, but I'm not sure. Medusa. Gotta love the name. Oh, and these do have things on it. Apparently, maybe I should like look this over before doing the video. So this one's woody aromatics, sweet fruit, citrus, and green and grassy. So they do have little symbols on them. So like topaz, citrus, sweet fruit, woody, aromatic. These all sound wonderful. Zappa. I wonder if it's named after Frank. Menthol, sweet fruit, and spicy. That could be interesting in the right way. And Talus. Woody, floral, and citrus. And then they usually put some other stuff in here. So got a magnet. Be nice for the keezer. Got a sticker. Probably brewing with Yakima Valley hops. Playing cards. And there's something else in here too. They just kind of slid something in here. Oh, like a little, I guess that's like a dealer indicator. Gotta admit, that does look pretty cool. Of course the phone's not going to focus on it. If I pull it back a little bit. Anyway, a hop joker. Awesome. Let's see what else is stuffed in this box. Got a Christmas card. Cool. And it's like signed by a bunch of people that I presume work there. Because I'm sure they would have had a bunch of random people sign it. And that's it. So, I have hops. Woohoo! So, anyway, feel free to subscribe. Cheers.